practice downward facing dog with a chair at the wall. So place the back of your chair against the wall. Place your hands down on the front edge of the seat of the chair and then walk your feet back into a down dog position. And we want to avoid a curled spine and a tucked pelvis. So instead, bend your knees, lift your buttocks way up high, pull the buttocks back. Be long in your armpits, active in your arms, and release the head down. Now make your legs taller. Lift the thigh bones up into the hip sockets. Lift the buttocks and lengthen the backs of your legs. Keep your knees bent because that will help you keep the buttocks lifting. Pull the inner thighs back. Pull the outer hips back. Lift the hamstrings up to the buttock bones. Stretch open the backs of the legs, keeping the buttocks lifted. Pull the pelvis away from the press of the hands. And then lean forward into your hands and step one foot forward and then step the other foot forward. Now we'll practice a supported fish with a bolster underneath the rib cage and have a strap nearby for your hands. So lay back so the bolster supports you underneath your thoracic spine. Release the flesh of the buttocks away from the lower back, away from the back ribs. Knees bent and feet flat to support you, and then grab your strap and reach your arms up and overhead, hands holding the strap at shoulder distance apart. Enjoy this nice extension of the spine as you lengthen through the front of the spine and lengthen the abdomen, and then extend your legs. Stretch the legs and stretch the arms. Allow yourself to be supported by the bolster here. Become internally absorbed here. As you relax and release and gently guide yourself to lengthen a little more. Smooth and steady inhalation and a steady exhalation. And then bend your knees one at a time, place your feet flat, and roll to your side. Pass through your side to come out of the pose, coming on up to sit. Start on hands and knees here, and then lower all the way down onto your belly for some belly down arm stretching. Also great for shoulder opening. Reach your arm up on the diagonal, so higher than shoulder height. And start to turn so that you're laying down on the right side of your body and swing your leg back and across behind you. So take a look here if you're confused at all. Using the left fingertips for support. So this should be a nice opening through the front of the right shoulder and through the right arm. Keep an extended right arm. Spread your hand, spread the fingers, and press your right forearm and hand down into the floor. This is also a nice twist. Stay long through your belly. Let that left foot find the floor somewhere back there behind you. Smooth breathing here. Let gravity do the work here. Relax and release. And then come halfway out of the pose, just enough so you can change the position of your right arm. Now reach your right arm directly out to the right so it's at the height of the shoulder. Reach the arm even more to the right, tiptoeing those fingers to the right. And then come back into the pose, coming onto the right side of your body, swinging the left leg back and behind you, using that left hand for support. Spread the right hand and press the hand into the floor. Keep the right arm extending, lengthening. And breathe into the sensations here. See if you can become absorbed by the inner landscape of yourself, observing whatever arises. And now we'll do another arm position, same arm. Now we'll do a cactus arm, so the elbow will bend at a 90-degree angle, approximately, as you see here, and then swing your left leg across again. So each of these arm positions hopefully will change the stretch a little bit. Each arm position will stretch a different line of fascia. Press your hand print into the floor, press the whole forearm into the floor. And use the left hand to help you come a little more over onto your right side to deepen the stretch. And then release and come onto your belly and get ready to switch sides, reaching the left arm up at the diagonal. And lengthen your arm a little bit away from you too. And then swing your right leg behind you as you roll onto the left side of your body. And enjoy that wonderful stretch across the front of the left shoulder and through that left arm. And let your attention be anchored by your breath and by your study and your exploration of sensations and whatever's arriving in this practice space. Stay present here. And come halfway out of the pose and switch the arm position. So now the left arm will come directly to the side of your body at the shoulder height. And then swing your right leg back and behind you, coming onto the left side of your body, using the right hand for support. Stay extended through the left arm. Breathing patiently as you relax and release and let gravity do the work here. And then come halfway out of the pose and come into Cactus Arm. And back to swing the right leg behind you, coming onto the left side of your body. Breathe into the sensations. Breathe into any tightness. Breathe into any discomfort. And take a deep breath here as you come out of the pose. And rest here on your belly, turning your head to one side, arms relaxing. And then turn your head to the other side. Now lay down on your belly for Shalavasana, and one at a time reach your legs back so that you set yourself up very long on the floor. Take your hands by your hips, forehead down, and then start to lift the shoulders up towards the ceiling. Lift your legs, lift the wrists, reach your chest forward, reach your legs back, and pull the arms back as you stretch your spine forwards. Anchor your tailbone down. Lift the inner thighs, stretch the knees, open the toes, and lift those outer arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release down, resting your head to one side. And then turn your head and rest the other cheek down on the ground. Release and relax the buttocks. Now we'll practice extended child's pose with 2 blocks. So have the blocks underneath your hands and come to hands and knees. Take your knees a little wider than hips, big toes are touching, and then pull your hips back onto your heels. And with extended arms, start to slide the blocks forward in space and lengthen the belly, the rib cage, the waist. As you stretch the arms even more, lengthen the armpits. Connect your hands into the blocks. Externally rotate the upper arms a little bit. And then inhale and lift your trunk up slightly and elongate the front ribs forward to lengthen the abdomen even more. Elongating those side ribs and armpits. Take the upper buttocks back and down. Pull the hips back and down as much as you stretch your spine forwards. And see if you can relax any extraneous contraction or tension. And then inhale back up to hands and knees. And now for Supta Stasana. Make sure that the flesh of your buttocks is pulled away from the low back, and then stretch your legs out one at a time and reach your arms up overhead but along the floor. And stretch your whole body out in this manner. Open the feet, open the toes, roll your thighs in and ground your thighs down towards the mat. And pull your rib cage long away from the legs. Lengthen and extend your arms. So pull your legs towards the feet and pull your arms towards the hands. And let your abdomen, let your whole midsection, let your lumbar receive that stretch. Breathing here as you stretch the legs and stretch the sides of your belly, stretch the arms. Relax and release any tension that's unnecessary as you lengthen. And then bend your knees and come back to neutral. Now we'll practice Supta Stasana. So have a strap nearby and lay down on your back. Adjust the flesh of your buttocks so that it moves away from the lower back towards the feet. Have your knees bent and feet flat, and then extend your arms overhead. Lengthen the arms and lengthen the trunk. Lengthen the front of the spine. Relaxed long belly. Open rib cage. Soft in the back of the throat. Neutral pelvis. And then grab your strap and lasso the right heel with the strap. And start to extend your right leg so that it's up at 90 degrees. And if this is difficult for you, you can keep your knee bent. And then start to extend the left leg. Make sure that the left leg is internally rotating just enough so that the midline of the front of your left leg is pointing straight up. And then think of the center of the left thigh grounding and the center of the right thigh moving away from the belly. Stay long and even in the belly. Shoulder blades slide down the back. Heads of the humerus bones ground towards the sticky mat. Open in the chest as you breathe. Long spine, open chest, extended legs, and reach the right heel straight up towards the ceiling. The top half of the right thigh is pulling away from the right side of the abdomen. The outer right hip is pulling away from the right waist. Internally rotate the left thigh and ground it down. Extend through the inner left foot. And then you can start to let the elbows bend out to the sides and pull the right ankle a little bit closer to your head as the top of the right thigh moves towards the left foot. So that right leg is like a seesaw. If the foot moves towards the head, then the top of the leg moves away from the head. Enjoy the stretch here, long spine. And then release and we'll switch sides. But before we take the left leg up, just rest the strap on your belly and extend your arms along the floor overhead, lengthening there. Just take a breath. And then lasso the left heel with the strap, kicking the left heel up towards the ceiling. Again, taking a bent knee if that helps you keep your pelvis neutral. You don't want to tuck your pelvis here at all. And then extend the right leg long, internally rotating the right leg a bit, grounding down through that right thigh. Pull the outer left hip away from the left waist. Shoulder blades down the back, long spine, relaxed long belly. Elbows wide. Kick the left heel up. Ground the center of the right thigh down. Ground the center of the left thigh away from the abdomen. So that left waist and left side of the abdomen is very long. And if you start to pull the left ankle a little more towards the head, make sure that the root of the left leg pulls away from the abdomen towards the right foot. Long spine, open breath, relaxed throat. Relaxing in the groins. Find an internal rotation in the legs and relaxed groins. A neutral pelvis here as much as possible. Active in the extension of the knees. And then bend your knees, feet flat. Bring your arms up and overhead to extend through the elbows and extend through the waist. Nice and even in right and left sides. And now we'll practice a deep lunge with a side bend. So lower your hands down onto the blocks and step your left foot back into a lunge. Deep in the lunge, keep the back leg active. Gather the right femur into the hip socket. And then elongate the left leg further back and lower the back knee down. Let the tailbone move into the body and lift the low belly. Gather your outer right thigh towards the hip. So pull from the outer right knee to the outer hip energetically. And then take the block that's on the right side of your foot and move that block all the way out to the right, in line with your right hip and out to the side. And then take a side bend into that right hand, which is on the block. So we're in a deep lunge and then adding a side bend to that as well. Leaning over to the right, gathering that outer right femur into the hip socket, and then gather both outer hips towards each other. Lift the low belly. Let the sacrum move forward towards the front heel. Bend further to the side. And then swing your left arm around, back down to the block. Lift your back thigh up as you tuck the toes. And step your back foot forward. And then bend your knees and step your right foot back into a lunge for the other side. Square your hips here by gathering that left femur towards the hip socket. Keep the back inner thigh lifting. Lengthen the spine here, buoyant in the belly. Reach the right thigh further back and then drop the right knee down. And then let the pelvis sink forward towards that front heel. Lift the low belly. Gather your outer hips in and take the block that's under your left hand and move it all the way out to the side in line with your left hip. And then start to side bend yourself, lifting the right arm up and over, side bend to the left. Let the tailbone move forward, bend the front knee, lift the low belly, kick the right foot into the floor and bend even deeper to the side. Side bending to the left. Gather the outer left thigh from the outer knee to the outer hip and gather the hips towards the midline. Tailbone anchoring deeper into the body. And then swing your arm forward and around to come back to the block. Lift the back thigh to come into a simple lunge again. And then step your back foot forward, soft knees, hands to the outer hips, stretch your chest forward and come up. Now lay down on your back for a variation of belly rolling. Have a block nearby. And then place the block between your knees, knees over hips. Stretch your arms out to the sides, long extended arms, shoulder blades sliding down your back. And then as you exhale, take your knees over towards your right elbow and they'll hover there. Knees are squeezing the block and focus on the stretch of the inner arms. Lengthen the collarbones horizontally and slide your shoulder blades down your back and slide your belly to the left. And then inhale your knees to the center and exhale your knees over towards the left elbow. Spread wide through your arms. Press the backs of your hands into the floor. Slide your shoulder blades down your back and slide your belly to the right. Be wide in your collarbones here. Stay active in your arms. Inhale to the center. And exhale your knees over towards the right elbow. Inhale, knees to the center. And exhale your knees over towards the left elbow. Inhale the knees to the center and keep going on your own here. And then bring your feet back down to the floor and rest. Now get ready for Supta Bada Konasana. So have your bolster on the sticky mat lengthwise and have an open blanket near your feet as you see here. And tuck your buttocks under so the flesh of your buttocks is pulled away from your lower back, and then lengthen yourself back out onto the bolster. And let your feet come together and the knees open, and wrap the blanket over the feet. Find a way to bunch up the blanket so that you're supported. And then grab onto opposite elbows and have your arms all the way overhead. Relax and release the internal trunk here so that your breath can move freely through the trunk. Let the breath move up and down the spine. And as you relax in your trunk, see if more length comes naturally. Relax and release the abdomen, unsticking, ungripping any contraction. And then switch the cross of the arms. And pull for a moment the elbows long behind you so that your arms are elongating out of the waist. And let your arms rest as you settle, as you elongate the exhalations here. Release and relax the hips and the groins. Enjoy the support of the bolster for your upper back. And enjoy the passive extension, allowing any tightness along the front of the spine to become open and free and long. And now open your arms out into a cactus position. So the elbows come towards the floor at around shoulder height. And the forearms are parallel. And your forearms may or may not come to the floor here. It depends on how open you are. It depends on the height of your bolster. But just explore this nice open position in the chest, elbows wide. Armpits releasing and relaxing. You can slide your shoulder blades down your back a little bit here. And if you need to change your arm position, that's also fine. Smooth inhalations, smooth exhalations. And feel the entire length of your trunk from the pelvic floor all the way to the thoracic outlet where the neck meets the trunk. Feel that length. Feel the dimension of your trunk, its depth, its length, its width. Relax internally here. And then roll over onto your side to come out of the pose.